Hi YouTube, I'm Amanda. I'm officially back, and today's topic is, are you an emotional dumping ground? The purpose of this channel is to assess and evaluate my poetry and my writings. Years ago, I used to be very insecure, self-deprecating, and overall toxic. That's all of those negative traits. I was also very observant. I knew what I was doing. I knew why I was doing it. I just didn't care to change at that point in time. But on my journey to self-love, I learned a healthy outlet and a healthy way of doing things. So I have the perspective of someone who lacks boundaries and is toxic, as well as a person who knows how to move in a more positive way. And I can differentiate between individuals who've had the same insecurities that I suffered from based off of similar behaviors. Through this channel, I hope to provide some insight in regards to difficulties with boundaries and other aspects of relationships. So I hope you guys can enjoy and also relate. Getting into the actual quote, the quote reads, "Steer clear of people who value your attention more than your happiness." This notion is very easy to grasp, but so difficult to see and observe in waking life. It's difficult if you are an empath, like I used to be, or like I currently am. Relationships and often friendships, sometimes you don't realize that you're blinded by an individual's victimization to the point that you're neglecting your own emotional needs. If you're an empath, you become obsessed with being a fixer in a certain sense. And the way this actually looks in waking life is, if you have a friend that's always constantly calling you to vent or calling you for advice, they don't ask about your mental health, how you're doing, how your day was. They call you when they're in panic mode. I'm sure we've all been on the receiving end as well as the giving end of this issue. Like I said before, I used to be toxic. I'm definitely guilty of this, but when you grow and evolve and realize that everybody's their own person and you can't just project your issues onto someone else. A lot of the times it's so obvious, but so difficult to realize that everybody has their own life and you do not know what emotional stagnation or what issues other people are going through. And when you're venting to them, you're just adding to that negativity. Friend, and she deals with this in such an amazing way, because anytime she feels the need to vent or wants to talk, she asks me or the person, anyone she'd like to vent to, she would just be like, are you in the emotional space? Do you have the energy to listen to me vent? I'm asking your permission to vent. Clear indication that we are our own individual people and your friends are not here to be your built-in therapist. I know it may feel like that, and I used to have that notion or that mindset, but nobody's expected to be on call for you, whether you're going through a hard time or not. As adults, you have to deal with your emotional baggage yourself. Yes, our friends are there to help us, but it's not their place to be there 24/7. Back on topic, are you an emotional dumping ground? Ways to confirm this is basically revisiting your conversations. When you have conversations with a certain person, is it often always one-sided? Can you speak your piece, or the person is disengaged anytime you talk? Sometimes the emotional dumper may not even be aware of what they're doing. It could be a form of a personality disorder, BPD, or any of the cluster B personality disorders, narcissism. Sometimes people do not realize how they're coming off, or they just don't care about other people surrounding them. Definitely confirm if someone has like a personality disorder if you start changing your accessibility. If they start becoming defensive and angry, then you know there's some other deep underlying issues there. I am obsessed with this YouTuber. Her name is Anna Psychology. She describes all these different personality disorders and all these different traits. She's very interesting. You should go check her out. The quote, "This person desires your attention. They do not care about your happiness or where you are in life. You are simply there to listen to them, and that is it." In our extreme case, I actually had a friend who was close to someone like this, who often needed their attention or needed that accessibility. And once she got into a relationship, the friend decided to try and sabotage it because the attention was diverted from her to someone else. So that goes to show they do not care about that individual's happiness. They are just upset that they lost their attention or they lost their therapist. I'm sure we're all guilty of this. If you are on the receiving end and you're the acting therapist, just say, I only have 10 minutes to talk today, or I'm not available right now via text. And if you feel like you're guilty of this, I think there are other outlets that you can get some clarity aside from venting. For me, working out helps, journaling. There are definitely other options aside from talking your friends' head off. Sometimes we're so caught up in our own drama that we don't realize that the person we're venting to can be going through something even more drastic that they're withholding. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something as well as could relate to this. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye.